Welcome to the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislative branch. Presentation by RCM, Reagan, Mia, and Christiana. They will lead you through our government. Take it away.
Now, in this government, there are three branches. These branches include the legislative, executive, and judicial. Each of these branches holds an important significance. Starting with the executive branch. The power of the executive branch is vested in the President of the United States, who also acts as head of state and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. The President is responsible for implementing and enforcing the laws written by Congress and, to that end, appoints the heads of the federal agencies, including the cabinet. The Vice President is also part of the executive, ready to assume the presidency should the need to arise. The President is both the head of the state and of the government of the United States of America, and Commander-in-Chief in the armed forces. The President is elected by the entire county and serves a 4-year term. The President approves and carries out laws passed by the legislative branch. He appoints and removes cabinet members and officials. Also, the President has the power. Either to sign legislation into law or to veto bills enacted by Congress. Although Congress may override a veto with a 2/3 vote of both houses. The executive branch conducts diplomacy with other nations, and the President has the power to negotiate and sign treaties, which also must be ratified by 2/3 votes. The President can issue executive orders which direct executive officers or clarify and further existing laws. The President also has unlimited power to extend pardons and clemencies for federal crimes, except in cases of impeachment. Lastly, in the executive branch, there are several cabinets, which include the Secretary of State, the Secretary of the Treasurer, the Secretary of Defense, the Attorney General's Justice Department, the Secretary of the Interior, the Secretary of Agriculture, the Secretary of Commerce, the Secretary of Labor, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, the Secretary of Transportation, the Secretary of Education, the Secretary of Energy, and lastly, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Now, let's head over to the legislative branch.
And we are now at the second part of government. It is the legislative branch. Introducing RCM, Reagan, Christiana, and Mia.
Hello, I'm reporting to you live. Today is November the 21st, 2012. We're here on Thanksgiving Eve in a beautiful, banging 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay? Now we're in front of the legislative building in Washington, D.C. on 1st Street in Northeast. This building is referred to as the Capitol. Established by Article 1 of the Constitution, the legislative branch is made up of two houses of Congress, the first being the Senate and the second, the House of Representatives. The most important duty of the legislative branch is to make laws. Laws are written, discussed, and voted on in Congress. Now, here's Mia to tell you more about this legislature. Mia, take it away.
Hello, Series 7. I am Mia Williams. Why, thank you, Christiana, and I am here to talk to you about the legislative branch. Now, also adding on to what Christiana said, the Constitution grants Congress the sole authority to enact legislation and declare war, the right to confirm or reject any presidential appointments, and adds substantial investigating powers. In Congress, there are two houses, as Christiana pointed out. The first, which is the House of Representatives, and the second, which is the Senate. The House of Representatives is made up of 435 elected members, divided among the 50 states in proportion to their total population. In addition, there are 6 non-voting members in this household. These 6 non-voting members include representing the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, and 4 other authorities in the United States. The presiding officer of the chamber is the Speaker of the House, elected by representatives. He or she is the third in line of succession to the presidency. Now take it back over to Christiana talking about the Senate. Now, starting with the second house in Congress, the Senate. In this house, there are 100 senators in the Senate, 2 from each state. Senators are elected by the state and serve 6-year terms. The Vice President of the United States is considered the head of the state, but does not vote in the Senate unless there is a tie. The Senate approves nominators made by the President to the Cabinet, the Supreme Court, federal courts, and other places. The Senate must ratify all treaties by a 2/3 vote. In conclusion, both parties in the Senate and the House of Representatives elect leaders. The leader of the party that controls the House is called the majority leader. The other party leader is called the minority leader.
Finally at the Supreme Court.
Mhm.
This is the judicial branch.
Okay.
As you can see, it's getting a facelift. Now let's take it over to Mia so she can talk more about the judicial branch.
Where the executive and legislative branches are elected by the people, members of the judicial branch are appointed by the President and confirmed by the Senate. Now we'll take it over to Christiana to talk to you more about the judicial branch. The judicial branch oversees the court system of the U.S. Through court cases, the judicial branch explains the meaning of the Constitution and laws passed by Congress. The Supreme Court is the head of the judicial branch. Unlike a criminal court, the Supreme Court rules whether something is constitutional or unconstitutional, whether or not it is permitted under the Constitution. On the Supreme Court, there are 9 justices, or judges, 8 associate justices, and 1 chief justice. The judges are nominated by the President and approved by the Senate. They have no term limit. Article 3 of the Constitution establishes the judicial branch leaves Congress significant discretion to determine the shape and structure of the federal judiciary. Even the number of the Supreme Court justices left to Congress. At times, there have been as few as 6, while the current number, 9, with 1 Chief Justice and 8 Associate Justices, has only been in place for 1869. The Constitution also grants Congress the power to establish courts inferior to the Supreme Court, and to that end Congress has established the United States District Court, which also most federal cases, and 13 United States Courts of Appeals, which review appeal court district cases. Federal judges can also be removed through impeachment by the House of Representatives and convicted in the Senate. Judges and justices serve no fixed term. They serve until their death, retirement, or conviction by the Senate. By design, this unfolds them from temporary passions of the public and allows them to apply the law with only justice in mind, and not electoral or political concerns. Now let's take it back over to Christiana. Okay. Here are some of the significant Supreme Court cases. 1803, Marbury versus Madison. first time a law passed Congress was declared unconstitutional. 1867, Dred Scott versus Sandford declared that a slave was not a citizen and that Congress could not outlaw being a citizen. In 1896, Patty Ferguson said that racial segregation was legal. In 1954, Brown versus Board of Education made racial segregation in schools illegal. In 1966, Miranda versus Arizona stated that criminal suspects must be informed of their rights before being questioned by the police. 1973, Roe versus Wade made abortion legal. And lastly, 2003, Rudder versus Bollinger and Gratz versus Bollinger ruled that colleges can, under certain conditions, consider race and ethnicity in admissions. As shown, the Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. Its decisions are final, and no other court can overrule those decisions. Decisions of the Supreme Court set precedent, new ways of interpreting the law.
All right. Reintroducing to you the group with their Bill of Rights. We have RCM. Reagan, R. Christiana, C. and Mia, M. Take it away, folks.
Hello. Today we will be talking to you about our 10 Bill of Rights. One is the law of Gergel. This law permits that anyone whose favorite colors are not green and purple are to be executed. Number 2, the law of religiousity. This law permits that anyone of the atheist or non-Christian religion must be put in concentration camps, and those who are bigots and racist must die a painful and excruciating beheaded death.
Law number 3 states that anyone who does not play football as a child will be shot.
Number 4 states anyone who does not have a $10 bill while listening to this 10 Bill of Rights must give away all of their money within 10 days. Number 5, the law of gayism. This law permits that anyone and anything has the right to be gay. Anyone with a problem with that,
Law number 5 states, this is the law of knife. And it states that whoever does not wear a knife will have their house burnt down with all the shoes inside.
Number 6, the law of lip gloss. Whoever's lip is chapped will immediately be knocked unconscious by a horse's hind legs and covered in cow manure. All right. Number 7, the law of astrology. Okay. Anyone who is anyone who is I'll read this for her. Anyone who is asked down, meaning actually anywhere, must be put in an insane must be put in an insane asylum for thinking it was okay not to use lotion, and must stare at a bottle of Johnson Johnson baby oil for 8 hours of the day. Baby oil.
Number 8 is a law of farting. And that states that if you fart in public, you will be plugged. You will be plugged until you explode.
Moving on to number 9. This is the law of bad breath/buttonism. If your breath and butt stink, and I mean stink, then you will be vaporized immediately. And finally, number 10, the law of disobedience. This is a harsh minority dictatorship. If you have a conflict with any of the rights above, or your following leaders, Reagan, Mir, or myself, all may apply. You will be skinned alive. Your carcass will be eaten by wild rabbits, and your hair will be cut off and made into wigs.
Thank you, and welcome to our humble abode.